Whoa.
Whoa.
I am filled with so much awe and humility and gratitude as I look out into the sanctuary and see so many people from so many different chapters of my life. From the bottom of my heart, I thank each and every one of you being here. Not only did people schlep hundreds of miles to get here, but everybody who lives here braved in the cold as well. So I thank you so much. You're all playing a role in the unfolding of this wonderful moment. So I begin by turning to our installation committee, which I know has worked tirelessly for months while doing their very best to keep me out of the loop. Sue has sort of shooed me out of the room. There are mystery texts coming in. I'm not sure she's having an affair. But I think most of them do come from Kathy. Our Temple Judea president, trustees, board members, and staff, who as a team have brought this very special weekend to fruition. Our amazing choir, which not only lifts up the soul with their voices, but such warm and loving people. And it's been such a delight to work with all of you. My esteemed colleagues and very dear friends who are here tonight, Rabbi Cantor Vicky Axe, Rabbi Robert Lieb, and our very own scholar in residence, Rabbi Peg Kirschenbaum, my children, our family and friends who crossed state borders to be here, my Susan, my partner and soulmate who is forever by my side, and each member of our Temple Judea family for providing me the honor to serve as your rabbi. My gratitude to the eternal overflows. So in the spirit of gratitude, I invite you to please close your eyes, take a deep cleansing breath, letting go of everything that has passed during this week, and whatever coughs you have as well, let it go. Let us together breathe in God's love, experience the awe and the mystery of the divine presence and the sanctity and serenity of the day which we call Shabbat. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English, no Hebrew, no services, and no semantics, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, and my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other. To love God is to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created. And to love God is to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and bring us to that vision of life. We formally open up our service with Hadlakat Hanerot Shel Shabbat, the kindling of our Sabbath candles. We turn to page 121 as I call upon Susan and Danny. Rarely do I get to call her Daniela Ava, but we gave her that name and I like it, and Graham. Please come forward. What did I skip? Did I not say Griff? That's it. Oh, you would have put me on a bad Father's Day list. That's okay, sweetie. You did it out of love, and I know that. Graham knows he's very much a part of this family, even though he speaks with a different accent.
Huh?
So I invite my family to lead us on page 121 to read the top paragraph together, and then the congregation to join in. No, yours. Right over here. We'll all chant together out. So if you want to read that together. They haven't come to any but serve.
Candles give light, so full through behold them. So may we by our lives give light, so all through behold us.
Together.
As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Maru We now turn to page 127. As we read responsibly. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain.
On Shabbat, we do not acquire, but share.
There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted.
Shabbat, we do hunger.
There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others.
Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal.
So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace, as we turn to the choir to lead us on page 142 with Shalom Aleichem. We rise now in body and spirit for the Baruch Hu on page 146, as we call upon Kathy Gilgore, Lorianne Moore, Nina Abbott, and Glenn Safran to open the ark. To open the parochet, I should say. No. They're in the kitchen. Well, then they can spiritually open it. Len, if you're here, come on, join us. Len is not in the kitchen. So Kathy and you can open the ark. And Nina and Laura and Lorianne know that.
They're coming.
Don't blame me if the service is too long tonight. Not always the rabbi's fault. So if you want to the other, Len, Len, you're gonna open it.
We'll sing it when it comes along. Yeah.
Baruch hu et Adonai, Avivorah. Baruch Adonai, Avivorah. Well, it is one beautiful night. It is freezing. I always said if God wanted us to wear these, we'd have Velcro on our head. But it is cold and it is freezing and it may soon snow. And we know we have all these wonderful patterns that we can continually count on. And so we turn to our evening prayer of creation, knowing that tomorrow morning the sun will be up. Tomorrow night, just like tonight, the stars and the moon will be out. And we are all proof of creation. So we join together in our evening prayer of creation, Ma'ariv Aravim, on page 148. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher bifaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chofma potech she'arim, na mishaneh itim, machalif et hazamanim, Sader et kochavim b'mishparotehem barakia kirtzono. B'rayom v'layla goler or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or u'mavir yom u'mevi layla u'mavdir ben yom u'vein layla Adonai tzavot shemo Elchai v'kayam tamid yimloch leinu l'olam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai. This is an hour of change. Within it, we stand uncertain of the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? And so we turn now to the choir who lead us in Ahavat Olam. Once the phone call is answered. But it sounded so nice, didn't it? Again, I invite you to rise, deep breath in, and connect with one another as a community, with one and eternal God. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Eloheinu. Yehod Malchuto, please be seated. Join together, page 154 and the Ahafta. The Atah Adonai Elohecha, b'chol levacha, b'chol nafshecha, u'b'chol me'odecha, hayu ha'devarim ha'ele, asher notni mitzvavecha, hayom alevavecha. Vishinantam Livanecha, Vidivartam, Vishivdecha, Uvetecha, Uvlechtecha, Vadere, Uvshukbecha, Ukumecha, Ukshartam Lehot, Tayadecha, Ve'ayumitotafot, Teneyecha, Ultatam, Amisobetecha, Ubisha areha, Leman tiskeru, Vasiten, Umisotai, Vitem kidoshim, Lelohechem, Ani, Adonai Elohechem, Asher hotzeki etchem, me'eretz Mitzrayim, Le'ochlachem, Lelohim, Ani, Adonai Elohim. Turn to the bottom of page 157. Reading responsibly. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God, heaven and earth.
The heavens display your glory, and everything justice and love.
From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets, instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and in peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing English and words of the state.
Taking out of the center, no one taking out of the center.
It is written that people Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time. It is a sign between me and people Israel. For in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day God ceased from work and was refreshed.
Sorry.
So we join with the choir in the singing of the Shamru. Oh, I thought that was after, but we're doing it before.
I think it comes before.
We love that then, yes, okay. So let me give you a little bit of an introduction. The Hashkivenu prayer, which reminds us everything, when we lie down at night, to turn to God, hoping that we will wake in the morning, safety, well rested and at peace. And our choir will embrace us with that, with the singing of Haforei Sukkah Shalom. May you feel this sukkah of peace upon you. Thank you, choir director. We continue now on page 161. Give us a place to rest, Adonai, our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadow of your truth, for you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth, prepare for us as we return, shelter us, your shelter of peace, over all we love, over Yerushalayim and yours. And now, as we anticipate climbing into Shabbat in its fullest, observing this commandment, we turn to the choir to lead us. And I have to say, I did pick out these songs, so mea culpa on my part. Marge and Jamie were nice enough to take my top 10 list and put them all in with the particular melodies I like. So I beg your forgiveness.
And Shabbat, and Shabbat.
What a surprise. We continue rising in either body or spirit, whatever's most comfortable for you, as we turn to page 165 as a prelude to the tefillah. I ask you to join with me responsively. Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives.
Having not been put in parched fields, nor manned a broken bridge, nor rebuilt. 165.
Broken heart, rebuild a weakened will, and do so much beyond our imagination. Adonai sifatai tifa ufia itihilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Abraham, Elohim Yitzchak, Elohim Yaakov, Elohim Sarah, Elohim Rivka, Elohim Rachel, Elohim Leah. El Agedol, Mekibol, Anuram, El Yahovim, El Chasadim Tovim, Ezocher Hashem Olim Amon, Umegigum Halim Neven, Ashkel Yahavam, Melchizedek Moshiach Magid, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magi Abraham, Atah Borle Olam Adonai, B'Kayach Bo. Moshiach, Moshiach Ruach Morina Gashem, Nefalkel Chayim Nefesen, Nefayim Hakol Beracham Yimati, Shalom Elofi, Rotel Holy, Umatzir Hasuri, Munadeh, Emunatol, Mishiyeh Hafah. We come, O God, and give us, only come and one. Let me be, Umechaye, Umatzmi at Yeshua, V'ne'emana ta'avayot. Baruch atah Adonai, Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh. Ukadashim b'chol yom yalu chatzela, Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. Continue reading together on the top of page 173. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai. Turn now to page 175. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when trouble comes upon us and brings us doubt, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward to the answer of our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'odeka lebaraka yirat na'avod. We continue now on page 176. Modim anachnu lach, together in English. We acknowledge with thanks that you are Adonai, our God, the God of our ancestors forever. You are the rock of our lives, and the shield of salvation
in every generation.
Let us
Thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your care, for your miracles that we experience every day, and for your wondrous deeds and favors every time of day, evening, morning, and noon. O God, whose mercies never end, O compassionate one, whose kindness never fails, we forever hope in you.
Baruch atah Adonai, atov shimcha u'lecha na'eh lahodot.
Good say.
What's that?
Good say.
Would I skip Andy from doing Ritzay?
No.
Perish the thought.
Just asking.
But Kathy, it's a good thing you're keeping me in line or I'd be in trouble.
It's that time.
All of you. Aren't I fortunate? Who has a congregation who will keep them in line so much?
Great.
Hit it, Andy. We're a little different order tonight. And hey, you know, I was away in Israel for a month and, you know,
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, you know, all these things. So
Say Adonai Eloheinu Yamecha Yisrael Utfilata B'Yahava Tikaber Utehi So Amir Avodah Israel. Israel Amecha. El Karov Lechol Karov B'nei El Avadecha Echanenu. Hallelujah. Tefezena Enzeinu. Yeshuveka Letzion. Amen. Baruch atah Ma'asir Shekinato Letzion.
thank you. May our prayers be acceptable. Thank you for sharing what's said. You know, I look out and I say this so often. What a feeling. Isn't this wonderful? If we could just bottle it up and put it in the world, there's so much love, there's so much peace, there's so much good feeling. But we know that our world is lacking so much of this. There's a lack of wholeness, there's a lack of feeling for others, there's a lack of shalom. And so let's take a few moments looking inside, bringing our voices out simultaneously in the prayer for peace, knowing that peace has to begin within us. We find peace within ourselves, we bring it out in our relationships in the world, and hopefully we can create a world of peace and love for all humanity. So we turn to page 178, and choir leads us in the singing. Shalom Rav. Did I do it okay? I'm getting a little, nervous here. Huh. Scary.
Leho Shalom. Your tongue, Beledadom. Leho Shalom. Shalom Ra. Israel. Tasi. And on Israel, and all Israel, Shalom Ra, Israel, Nasi, Shalom Ra, Israel, Nasi, Nasi, Nasi,
As we know, amongst Judaism's greatest of commandments is to care for those in need of spiritual, physical, emotional, and wellness. And we know so many do in so many ways. Tonight, we think of those within our congregation or dear to our congregational family: Alexander, Ted Herstein, Steve Nolan, Penny Kaiser, Mallory Kaplan, Das Lowell, and all suffering in Israel and Gaza and throughout the world. And I invite you to please share names with us. So I'll invite you please to rise so I can call upon you, because I won't see you if you're sitting. Too short.
Fran Roberts.
Larry Gilbert.
Margaret Franz.
Before the roof is like that, so I'll go and watch a service.
Kate Fusion, Marcel Fusion, Emily Coleman, those news. Bobby Phillips. Mary.
With Sharon, Kate Schwartz, and Michelle Zimmerman.
And President Byrne. Lydia Hoffer.
Harry Wolf, Zachary Wolf, Gus Wolf, and Sam. Chirello, and I one.
Sheila Levine. And our prayers obviously can include ourselves in any way which we feel we need healing in. Are there any other names? So in a prayer for healing, body, mind, and spirit, and always possible, we continue with Mishabera on page 300, and I believe it's 71. Or is it 311? It's either one of those. Source of strength. That's the one's faithful. Help us, Mother, with courage to make our lives a blessing and let us say, Amen. Tempeinu, Westos with reform was Lema, the renewal of body, the renewal of the spirit, and let us say, Amen. We've taken a moment, prayers for the community. We've taken a moment for prayers, those who need healing. And now we turn to you, dear God, with our own prayers. I invite you once again to close your eyes and take a deep breath, expressing gratitude for all the gifts that we have, remembering those who are less fortunate than ourselves, and the many ways that we can, as both a community and on the individual level, work for a better world. And of course, at this time, dear God, we ask you to hear our most personal and our most heartfelt of prayers. O saints, shalom, bimroma, yahaste shalom, aleinu, v'yakomo, Israel, imeru, amen. O say, shalom, Roma, Booyah, say shalom, Aleinu, V'yavo, V'yavo, Yisrael, V'imeru, amen. O say shalom, Roma, Booyah, say shalom, Aleinu. V'yavo, Israel, v'yimeru, amen. O say shalom, Roma, Booyah, say shalom, Aleinu, v'yavo, Israel, v'yimeru, amen. Shalom, Roma, Booyah, say shalom, Aleinu. Yaakov, Israel, v'yimeru, amen. May the one who causes peace to reign in the high heavens, let peace descend upon all of us, all Israel and all the world. And let us say,
Amen.
pray as if everything depends upon God, and act as if everything depends upon you. Rise from prayer better persons, their prayer is answered. And now, my friends, I believe this is the moment for my voice to be stilled. Where's my jacket, Paz? My mother would never forgive me for sitting in the sanctuary and not wearing a jacket. She might criticize me for the kippah, but not the jacket.
You do that.
The most sacred and most precious object that a congregation possesses is its Torah. But the Torah is only a silent partner of your holy congregation. You are its guardians, but the rabbi gives it a voice. He brings its words to you on all those occasions when the Torah is read and teaches you to treasure it and find inspiration in its words. In this brief, two-part ceremony, the leaders of your congregation will entrust your Torah to your new rabbi, Rabbi Sklarz. After the scroll has been returned to the ark, the ceremony will continue. I invite to the bima our parochet team. Rob Leonard, please come forward as I call your name. Brian Shaper, Lori Bergman, and Igor Voloshin. And our trustees, past and present, Andrew Goulet, Gerald Wall, Noel Weiss, Len Safran, Shari Wall, Brian Hochberg, Andrew Kind-Rubin, Michael Landis, Stan Dunn, Dave Carey, Paz Brill, Deb Holder, and Merrill Berdinka. Please rise as the parochet is about to be opened.
I love this scroll in particular, the Holocaust scroll that goes back to the 1600s. And I am continuing to be verklempt.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'etionu v'hiyanu v'hiyanu la'naseh.
Okay. Now it is yours. From one answer to another. See?
You may be seated. Shelley Dunn gave you a glimpse of your remarkable past. Gerald Wall foreshadowed a promising future. Your new board just represented you in the present. What about your rabbi? How do you blend him into this congregation? I'll help you to answer this question in a very Jewish way, with another question. In the words of one of the 4 children of the Haggadah, what does this ceremony mean to you? You have billed this as an installation ceremony. Now, we install heating systems, carpeting, and household appliances. Do we really install rabbis? A rabbi who's like a heating system would blow hot and cold. Surely this is not the rabbi that you chose. A rabbi who is like a carpet would be one you could walk all over. That's not the rabbi you chose. Or maybe some of you did. The idea of installing your rabbi like a kitchen appliance would entail a lot of wrenching and hammering and soldering, much too violent an image. You're welcome. Your rabbi is not a sink, neither do you want your synagogue to go down the drain. So perhaps the idea behind installation is to be drawn from the world of computers. At least the images from that field are more promising. What's involved? To install your new rabbi, just click to continue. Run, save. But these actions do not capture the process by which a rabbi and a congregation form their unique and lasting relationships. A beloved and respected teacher of mine, Rabbi Bernard Zlotowitz, Zichrono Livracha, referred to this ceremony as a coronation. He drew support from a teaching in Pirkei Avot that says there are 3 crowns: the crown of the priesthood, the crown of kingship, and the crown of Torah. However, of these 3 crowns, the first 2 are not available to just anyone. To wear the crown of priesthood, one needs to be from the correct tribe, too restrictive for our democratic sensibilities. To wear the crown of kingship, one needs either to have been designated by the prophet Samuel or to be of the Davidic bloodline. Again, not in keeping with our views. The third crown, the crown of Torah, is a crown that may be worn by all who devote themselves to study and application of its principles. But that would mean that your congregation has well over 150, 200 crowned heads. So this might be a congregational coronation, but with all due respect to Rabbi Zlotowitz, that's not what we have here tonight. What you have lovingly and creatively planned is an acclamation ceremony. You have just chosen to make a joyful shout of approval that publicly acknowledges your appreciation, excitement, hope, respect, and love for your new rabbi, Rabbi Andrew Sklarz. The relationship that is developing here is worthy of recognition. The renewal of spirit at Temple Judea is palpable. By this ceremony of acclamation, you pledge your support of your rabbi and place in him the trust that he will lead you forth to claim the most significant prize, the crown of a good name in your community and among the Jewish people. Chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek. As Rabbi Rob Lieb and Rabbi Cantor Vicky Axe pronounce the verses of the traditional benediction, please respond enthusiastically, Kain Yehi Ratzon, may this be God's will.
May God bless you and keep you.
May it be God's will.
May God lift up God's countenance upon you and grant you, dear Rabbi Andy, God's most precious gift.
Be this God's will.
Be this God's will.
May God extend to you, dear Andy, and to Sue and Danny and Graham and Erev Rav student Rabbi Alex Yerushalayim, all who love you, and the members of this congregation extend to you God's greatest gift of all, the gift of shalom, of peace. A shalom that we pray for you, dear friend, and all who love you will be shalom, whole and complete, deep and fulfilling, now and forever.
May this God's will.
You may be seated. I'd like to introduce the two speakers who have just spoken, and they will speak again. First, we will hear from Rabbi Lieb, and then from Rabbi Axe. So, Rabbi Lieb.
Dear friends, Shabbat Shalom to all of you. Good Shabbos. It truly is a zechut, it's a great privilege to be with you this evening as we celebrate the formal installation, induction, whatever the word might be, of Rabbi Sklarz as the spiritual leader of Temple Judea. Rabbi Peg and Rabbi Vicky, thank you for the honor of enabling me to be with you on this very special occasion. And thank you, Shari and Gerald, too. It's good to be reunited with you. I'm only too happy to have defected from Old York Road, Temple Beth Ami Abington this evening in order to honor not only a respected colleague and a very dear friend, but a leader who has already begun to shape this sacred community with heart, with humility, and with hope. And make no mistake about it, Judeanics, if your rabbi fully embodies all three magnificent attributes, and if you didn't know that yet, you soon will. Rabbi Andy, in this Shabbat Sedra, Vayishlach, you and I know all too well that our biblical patriarch Jacob prepares to encounter his long-lost and estranged twin brother Esau. And Torah tells us that before Jacob could meet Esau, he first had to, in a sense, meet himself. And he wrestles through the night with fear, with uncertainty, perhaps even with the burden of the journey ahead. And at dawn, he emerges, limping yet blessed, wounded yet strengthened, carrying a new name, Yisrael, and therefore clarity of purpose. Every rabbi knows that our sacred work begins in and with that same place, with honest wrestling. Wrestling with the needs of a diverse community, wrestling with the acute and the pressing demands of both conscience and compassion, wrestling with the sacred task of translating Torah into lives that are meaningful and just. And like Jacob, we sometimes walk away limping and bruised, but we also walk away with blessing, with resilience, and with the deep knowledge that God is indeed present in the struggle. Dear friend, as you step fully into this new role, may the blessing of Jacob accompany you, that your encounters be rooted in courage, that your leadership be grounded in integrity, and that your struggles yield insight and growth and holiness. May you guide Temple Judea with what you have always shared with those fortunate enough to know you: a steady hand, a brilliant mind, but above all, and I think you've all come to realize this already, an incredibly generous heart. May they in turn support you, challenge you, and bless you as you now walk together on this sacred path. And may this new journey in your rabbinic career, my chaver, be one of peace and of purpose and of promise. A true makom, where God's presence is felt, where Torah comes alive, and where all who enter know that they are seen and validated and valued. May it be a beginning worthy of the name Israel, Yisrael, a people and a leader who continue to wrestle with God and with one another, but who prevail, vatuchal, who prevail with rachmanut, with compassion, and with bracha, with blessing. Rabbi Andy, may this wonderful and exciting and enriching new chapter in all your lives come to symbolize the significance of this temple's name, Judea, a strong, uninterrupted connection to Jewish identity, combined with a powerful combination of ancient sacred roots and modern spiritual expression. Mazal tov to you, my dear friend, to Sue, to Danny and Graham, student Rabbi Erev Rav Alex, and sincere congratulations to you, this Kihila Kedosha, this truly blessed congregation. Shabbat Shalom. Good Shabbos. Good Shabbos.
Shabbat Shalom. So tonight, as if anyone didn't know, marks an epic moment in the history of Temple Judea. And it's such an honor and joy to be with you tonight to participate in the coronation.
I feel like the imperial march went round.
Of Rabbi Andrew Sklarz as your rabbi, officially as your rabbi. Who is the perfect rabbi, one might ask? According to the results of a computerized survey, the perfect rabbi preaches concisely, delivering profound sermons in exactly 15 minutes. The perfect rabbi condemns sins, but never upsets anyone. The perfect rabbi must possess both youth and extensive experience, being 28 years old with 30 years of preaching experience. The perfect rabbi is financially well off, wearing designer clothing and driving an expensive car while caring generously for the poor. The perfect rabbi collects vintage and rare books while keeping current with contemporary philosophy, modern thought, and pop culture. The perfect rabbi has a burning desire to work with tots and teens and spends all his time with seniors. The perfect rabbi is out making numerous pastoral calls daily to congregational families, shut-ins, hospitalized, and is always in the office when needed. The perfect rabbi appears to smile while maintaining a straight face because a rich sense of humor keeps the rabbi seriously dedicated to the sacred work. And it continues, if your rabbi does not measure up, simply send a letter to 6 other congregations that are tired of their rabbi. Then bundle up your rabbi and send him to the synagogue at the top of the list. And in 1 week, you will receive 1,643 rabbis. And one of them will be perfect. Which brings us to you, Rabbi Sklarz. I met Rabbi Sklarz back in 2008 when we were both on a panel to talk about a book for which each of us had contributed a chapter. The book, Life, Faith, and Cancer, is a collection of essays by rabbis and cantors who have gone through treatment for cancer. His chapter is about his battle with leukemia beginning in 2001, and mine is about my 1994 battle with breast cancer. We both keep a watchful eye on our health and share the common bond as cancer survivors. For the next few years, we both served congregations in the same town, Greenwich, and enjoyed a wonderful collegial friendship that brought us together for planning meetings and community events. Our most recent encounter, which solidified our deep friendship, was High Holy Days 2020 during COVID, when he served as rabbi and I as cantor. I was able to see him in action, teaching and preaching, guiding his precious congregants through a very challenging time with compassion and humor and wisdom. The perfect rabbi. And now, the perfect rabbi has come to Temple Judea of Bucks County. He brings so much to you as a social worker, therapist, pastoral counselor, Jewish educator for learners of all ages, as well as a fine musician. We live in challenging times, and I can't think of a more perfect rabbi to hold each of you and all of you in the loving embrace of his heart as you navigate the trials and triumphs of life. I know that he will serve you with his vibrant and joyful energy, his creative flair, his compassion and warm humor, and his wisdom. A big mazel tov to all of you as together you go from strength to strength. And now, dear Andy, Rabbi Sklarz, I invite you to come up as I offer a blessing for you with assistance from the choir.
Marge, I can't sing, I guess, in this one, right?
No. Come close. So I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to think about all those who formed you to be who you are in this moment. Your parents, grandparents, going all the way back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, coming through the generations till we have you. And of course, thinking about your dear Susan, your Danny and Graham, your son Alex, who wishes he could be here, who is here with us. May I be safe, may I be free, may I find space to just to be.
Song, a song.
Now, I want you to think about those who informed your rabbinic career. Your Hebrew Union College teachers and colleagues, classmates, those at AJR as well, of course. Those who you carry with you, your teachers, who you embody in their wisdom and their teachings, and now you give those teachings to all who are blessed to be with you here. May you be saved. May you be. May you find space to just be. May you find way back home. May you find way back home. I want you to look out at your beloved congregation, each precious soul whom you have the privilege to shepherd through this time while you're here as their rabbi. Members of the choir, each individual who has a special place. And as Rabbi Leib so beautifully put, those whom you hear and you see and you know they're there because of who you are. And I want all of you to think about your dear rabbi as we take this third and last idea. May we be saved. May we be free. May we find space to just be. God's song, God's song, may we song, God's song, may we find a way. Say together, Amen.
Whoa. Pretty incredible. I'm so blessed to have the people I have in my life. Wow. It's incredible. Oh, you gotta fill light on. Oh, there's more. Like,
Answer, there's more.
and wait, there's more.
Just wait.
Wow, it's okay, Wesley. So Rabbi,
Goodness.
or Auntie, or Rabbi Auntie, or Rabbi Sklarz, or whatever we're supposed to call you. You are our rabbi. You are now our rabbi. And on behalf of the congregation and the board of trustees, I want to present you with this ketubah that was beautifully designed by Leslie Weissman Cook. And I will read this ketubah to you. I will try to read it to you anyway. So on the 15th day of the month of Kislev in the year 5786, corresponding to December 5th, 2025, we, the members of the congregation of Temple Judea of Bucks County in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, having chosen Rabbi Andrew R. Sklarz as our rabbi, promise to work alongside him individually and communally as he continues to lead us forward as a house of study, a house of prayer, a house of assembly, and a voice for Jewish values in the wider community. We promise to act in such a way as to make sweet the words of Torah that he teaches by loving, honoring, and cherishing each other and the work of God's creation. We promise to work together to make this a congregational home, which will be faithful to the teachings of Torah, committed to deeds of loving kindness and tikkun olam, healing of the world, filled with reverence for learning and spiritual fulfillment, warmed by loving generosity, open to everyone on their spiritual journey, sanctified by music, candles, and wine, and always meriting the presence of God in our midst. We promise to act as friends, to give each other joy and to support one another in times of gladness and sadness, to honor our diversity, to strengthen one another, and to bring up this and future generations to be good human beings within the covenant of Israel. We promise always to support one another and to act with forgiveness, compassion, and integrity, guided by the teachings of Torah and linked eternally to the past, present, and future of the Jewish people. And we do so with respect for God, each other, and all of humanity. With joy and happiness, we invoke heaven and earth as reliable witnesses. Presented to Rabbi Andrew Sklarz by the Board of Trustees and the congregants of Temple Judea of Bucks County. So, and this is what it looks like. So, and this was signed.
Wall space in my office.
There we go. Yeah. There you go, Andrew.
Sorry, those matter of fact.
Simon Tobin, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov.
We're now married.
We're now married.
Tobin, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simon Tov. Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simon Tov. Hey,
Actually, you're of your own. Whoa. All right, I'm going to try. I am more overwhelmed than I could have expected. I knew a lot went into this. They tried to keep it from me, but I sensed a lot. Wow. You got 3 great rabbis here, you know. I see 3. They are just sensational. Okay, I don't know what to do with this. Danny said it's falling off my head. As I said, my mother would say, why do you have that thing on your head? I'm trying. Bear with me a second, please. I'm just humbled beyond words by this extraordinary evening. Yesterday, there was an article that came out in the Jewish Exponent. I tried to perfect the quote, but they wouldn't change it. The quote was, apparently I said, I so enjoy our congregation and I look for it to prosper. But what I said yesterday when I asked him to read it back, it wouldn't change. It was, I love this congregation and I look for it to continue to blossom. I speak from the heart when I say, I love Temple Judea. I cherish the relationships here which have developed over the past 3 years. I'm so excited about those that are developing and blossoming will happen in the future, please God. And I am so thrilled to be formally installed as your rabbi. As has been mentioned, our Torah portion for this Shabbat, Parshat Vayishlach from the book of Genesis, and we'll go into a bit more depth tomorrow, so I promise this won't be too long. We'll do that during Torah study. But there's a key line. V'yivater Yaakov levado, v'yavek ish imo. I won't ask anybody to translate it now. And Jacob was all alone all night and wrestled with a man. This strange verse, which seemingly comes from nowhere, is amongst the most confounding and yet most profound group of words found within Torah. What really happened to Jacob that night? Why in the morning did Jacob say, I have seen God face to face? And why did the one who wrestled with Jacob proclaim, no more shall you be called Jacob, but Yisrael, Israel? For you have struggled with God and human beings and prevailed. We will never know if Jacob wrestled with a mere mortal, an angel, an emanation of God, or if Jacob spent the night wrestling with himself. Whatever happened will be forever shrouded in mystery. But through that experience, we know Jacob was transformed. The Musar masters, the great rabbinic sages who expand on the Jewish call to hold up a spiritual mirror to ourselves, would interpret Jacob's wrestling as a model for growth and change that led to the development of his character. Jacob's wrestling and his spiritual aha moment were not merely responses to his own actions or his previous bad behavior, but as a result of plans that had gone awry. Indeed, each one of us understands those feelings of bewilderment, disappointment, and very often pain when our well-conceived plans appear to have been thwarted, when dreams and aspirations seem to have come to naught. The Musar masters ask us to consider that a change in human plans is a part of the divine plan, and to bid us to look at all those twists and turns which have come our way as dimensions of our spiritual curriculum to enable our growth as human beings. In other words, we are instructed to turn our despair into acceptance that whatever has happened in our lives has happened for a reason, and to seek to understand the reason why God has sent us in a different direction than we had envisioned. As I've shared in the past, some 25 years ago, when serving as Rabbi of Temple Beth Torah in Philadelphia, and I'm so glad to have so many representatives. I'm sorry I didn't do the Vishamru, which would allow you to bob your heads back and forth. I did think of that. But when I was there, I learned that a rabbinic search was underway for a growing temple, then located on Swamp Road in Doylestown. Let me clarify. I loved our congregation, but I questioned the long-term viability. And as we saw, even though I tried to push to move, it wasn't going to happen. And then several years later, we had the blessing of merging down the road with Old York Road Temple Beth Am. I wanted to bring us to Bucks County. Didn't happen. It wasn't supposed to happen. And wonderful things did ensue. The path was different. And so on a Monday morning in the summer of 2001, I called the director of rabbinic placement of our Reform movement, requesting he submit my application to Temple Judea. We both felt that this would be a really good fit, and he concluded by saying, call me on Thursday, Andy, and we'll send out your dossier. Our conversation reinforced my feelings for Temple Judea, and so I quickly assembled all of my materials. I had them sent out to him, and I thought, I'd been in the rabbinate for a decade then. Susan and I had just had our second child, and my instincts told me, I really felt it, that the fertile ground that I sensed within Temple Judea and my youthful enthusiasm, and I was actually young then, that the combination was right for us to grow together at that time. How could I have possibly imagined that literally 2 days later, with the diagnosis of leukemia, the trajectory that I had envisioned would have been so dramatically altered? Clearly, it was not my time to come to Temple Judea. And as I have learned in the ensuing years, there was so much for me to experience in my own spiritual curriculum before we were to be united. The Musar masters teach that God has a plan for every single human being, which calls upon us to explore, to learn, and to grow in ways we may have never considered. I needed to go on a windy road and wrestle, and perhaps the same was true for Temple Judea. before we were finally brought together. In other words, it needed to be the right time on both of our paths. And to my surprise, some 22 years later, our orbits finally seem to be in sync. And so nearly 3 years ago, this holy relationship began. And from the moment I entered, and now I can say our building, I felt as though I had come home. Of course, by then I had spent a great deal of time on the screen. And you know who I'm talking about, all of you, with a host of wonderful people devoted to the congregation and the greater community. And so when I stepped on this bima for the very first Erev Shabbat service I was asked to conduct, I knew I was amongst family. And so tonight, after 3 years, we have sanctified our relationship. And what a ketubah. That is awesome. I don't know who conceived of it, but what a brilliant thing. Leslie, it is gorgeous. Where's Andrew? We're going to have to find another space in my office wall. What a time for our marriage to formally begin. There's so much positive energy which buzzes through the air of this congregation. So many passionate people and so much joy we have here. It feels to me that we are experiencing a renaissance taking place within these walls and into the community wherever we go to seek good. But friends, there's so much work that lies ahead. We are experiencing challenging times in our world. And while our building is a haven and our membership a family, we must not open our tent as widely as possible to further our mission of inclusivity with loving arms, but strengthen our ties with the community. And I'm so thrilled that we have representatives here with the community tonight. I'm meeting you for the first time, and I look forward to our truly getting to know each other and to work with our larger reform movement to make this a better world for all. Over these past 3 years, as I've worked closely with our devoted board, our extremely enthusiastic community members, our vibrant religious school and preschool directors, our passionate parents, our dedicated volunteers, and let us not forget the awesome kids who we get to work with. I feel such promise ahead for Temple Judea. But as we look to the future, we cannot know what might unfold. What unanticipated twists and turns may come our way, and the wrestling we may be called to do as a congregational family. However, if each one of us offers the unique gifts and talents of our hearts, weaving together ourselves as the fabric of the sacred community, ever seeking to hone who we are as individuals in a congregation and what we offer to the Temple family and the greater community, I have great faith that Temple Judea will grow in ways beyond our wildest dreams. With the consecration of our relationship tonight, let us join hands, wrestle when we are called to do so, sing with spirit, pursue all of our dreams. Ken Yehi Ratzon. May it be your will, O God, that Temple Judea will forever be blessed and ever be a blessing. And together let us say, we rise once again in body or spirit for the Elenu. I call upon Leslie Wiseman Cook, Marjorie Hewitt, Lori Bergman, and Lori Carey to open the Baruch for us as we turn to page 586. Aleinu l'shaveh ha'adon ha'kol l'naseh k'dulah v'aseh l'preshi We continue on page 591, reading responsibly. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Love each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand, but to conquer fear and doubt and despair.
Rise up like the sun, God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas. And light up the earth with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace. Body home, body home,
At least it wasn't a Torah thing. Please be seated.
That's such an angelic voice when she sings. Such an angelic voice, too.
Yesh kochavim. There are stars up above, so far away we only see the light, long, long after the star itself is physically visible. And so it is with people we love. Their memories ever keep shining brightly, though their physical time with us on earth is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. Tonight, our thoughts turn to Frieda Rosenwasser, Yolanda Wohl, Barbara Rosenbaum, Harold Wolf, Esther Nazalo, Meryl Bohm, Deborah Hoffman, and of course, all those lost in Israel and Gaza since October 7th. If there are other names to mention, please rise and let us know. Steady.
Saul caption.
I'm going to stop because Saul Katzman was a very dear friend of mine who was the president of Temple Beth Torah. We have several presidents tonight of Temple Beth Torah, and Saul was, as wherever Nancy Chesson is, who is another former president, who said, if you look in the dictionary under the word mensch, you would find his name. Absolutely. Faye, we're so glad you're with us tonight. All of you. Other names to be mentioned.
Lawrence Short. Neil Wolf.
Lisa.
My sister Jack's very fine.
Somebody else have a name? Denny, were you pointing? Go ahead and answer. Let's see. Yeah, maybe they said it. As one caring congregational family, remember the martyrs of the Holocaust, righteous non-Jews who stood by them. Our people throughout history may have no one to mention their names. And all those in city streets, those who suffer pain, those who may have taken their lives. those who lie in graves and have no one. As one loving people, we honor them by rising for Winter's Kaddish. Down on page 592. Page 598. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah v'yamad yivrach yuteviam lichma v'chayachon v'yamechon chayei l'kol beit Yisrael v'adonah v'zman kariv v'imru amen yehi shmei Rabbah mivrach v'lom u'mei maya v'yivrach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitruman v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalach shemei l'kudashav v'rithu Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, damiran bi'amah v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, hayim aleinu yom kol Yisrael, imru amen. Oseh shalom b'romah, v'yaseh shalom, ve'al kol Yisrael, imru amen. I'd also like to add the names of all those who built this congregation, who are no longer with us today. Ose shalom b'romah, v'yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. May God send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And may the one who causes peace to reign in the high heavens cause peace to descend upon all of us, all Israel, and all humanity. And together let us say, Amen. Please be seated. It is now my great pleasure to call upon the president of Temple Judea, Gerald Philip Wall.
There we go. Thank you, Rabbi Andrew Sklarz. So, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
What an amazingly special night that couldn't have happened without the incredible community members that put such a labor of love to make tonight such a success. So many thanks to Rabbis Lieb and Axe for joining us tonight, and of course, our newly named scholar in residence, Rabbi Peg, for your leadership and guidance in tonight's installation and always. And of course, our choir always enhances every Shabbat and holiday where they can lead us in song, so we always love having you. There are too many names to mention people who worked so immensely for tonight's success, but I do want to call out Kathy Gilgore, Nina Abbott, Lorianne Moore, and Len Safran, who really got the ball rolling to make tonight such a success. And thank you for everybody else that really just did a yeoman's job. And tonight is only the start, so thank you all. I also want to thank the many people who donated to sponsor tonight's program. Your donation is more than just financial support, but a sign of how you believe in the community that we continue to build at Temple Judea and the faith that we will reach new heights as we enter a very new era under Rabbi Sklar's leadership at Temple Judea. And of course, the person of the hour, Rabbi Sklarz, we would not be able to have this night had he not finally made it to our bima so long ago. So we are so happy that you are finally here. So who would have thought that our meeting some 20 whatever years ago would bring us together again at the same synagogue? Really just amazing how things happen. I can't believe it. And yeah, it's so nice to see our TBT here. You'll see the holla later that Wendy Stoller, who is TBT, now Betham person, who is the Betham baker, challah baker, has graced us with amazing challahs tonight and tomorrow. So thank you for that. So for tomorrow, if you haven't signed up for tomorrow's programs, there will be a Shabbat service with brunch and discussion tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. And then tomorrow night, the festivities will conclude for all but our littlest congregants and their parents, and I'm not telling any more, with Havdalah, followed by dinner and live jazz starting at 5:30. So if you haven't signed up yet, please see Kathy Gilgore and me, and we'll make sure to accommodate you as best we can. So after an incredible weekend, we look forward to continuing our celebrations this month. This isn't it for December. There is no December dilemma at Temple Judea with our upcoming months with these programs. The Hanukkah gift drive that was to continue through Sunday, but because of the generosity of our community has completely filled up with donation requests for Family Matters, which provides support services to children and families facing crisis, trauma, or overwhelming life challenges. So I thank everyone for your participation in that program. And if you missed this drive this time, we'll have it again, don't worry. But we want you to give to a family in need. There is no deficit of need in our surrounding community in the world, and encourage you to give generously so we can all feel the joy of the moment as we are all feeling here tonight. Other upcoming events include a celebration on December 15th, where we will join with the Bucks County Kehillah at Shady Brook Farm for a Hanukkah celebration. But the big celebrations for Temple Judea will be on December 19th, Friday, and December 21st, Sunday, with December 19th being the night we test out our fire suppression systems by bringing in your Hanukkah menorahs for a festive Shabbat service starting at 6 o'clock. So please come with candles, and maybe you'd better bring your own lighter. But then December 21st, we are joining with Kehillah Hanahar for our annual Hanukkah in the Borough program. Always a fun time with singing, donuts, treat bags, crafts, our human menorah, which is just like the bomb's bomb. And of course, hot cocoa to keep us all warm. That will be at State and Main Streets in downtown Doylestown starting at 1 o'clock. And almost lastly, we're not going to be quite done with our celebration as we conclude in the sanctuary. Once we're done in the sanctuary, we're blessed to have not one, but two more leaf honors tonight. So we'll meet in the lobby, plan to congregate there quickly once we are done here, and give full attention to our other honorees this evening. Once that is done, I look forward to celebrating at our lovely Onek Shabbat, prepared by our own baker extraordinaire, Lori Carey. We thank you as always. I'm telling you, you're in for treat after treat after treat. So thank you all, and Shabbat Shalom.
So the time has come for our closing song. Choir has followed something we've been doing since October 7th. We will close tonight with the Israeli national anthem, which, if you're not familiar with the word Hatikva in English, it means the hope. So in hopefulness for Israel, hopefulness for Temple Judea, for all of humanity, we rise and turn to Hatikva, which is on page, I forgot to look it up. I've done it so many times. It's in the back of the book, my friends. 678. Thank you. Should know that by now. We turn to page 376. Read together on the top of the page. Source of all being, may the children of this community learn these passions from us: love of Torah, devotion and prayer, and support of the needy. May we guide with integrity, and may our leadership be in your service. May those who teach and nourish us be blessed with satisfaction, and may we appreciate their time and their devotion. Bless us with the fruits of wisdom. Yivarecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav lecha v'chuneka. May God's presence shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav lecha v'yisem lecha shalom. May we have the courage to wrestle with ourselves. May we have the strength to learn as we wrestle. And may we have the will to bring the best of us out in the world, to partner with those we love, and work with God for a better world for all humanity. And let us say,
Amen.
Shabbat Shalom.